This has been a long time coming. Beyond the Steel Sky is a sequel to Revolution Software's 1994 adventure game Beneath the Steel Sky, in which you play as Robert Foster. Kidnapped by security forces from Union City while your family is killed, you escape from custody and seek revenge on those who wronged you. Beneath the Steel Sky came out when point-and-click adventures were extremely popular, with classics such as the Monkey Island series, Day of Tentacle, and Simon the Sorcerer among the many. Beneath the Steel Sky ended with Robert's sidekick Joey taking control of the city, and vowing to return it from the corrupt state that it had become into a utopia for all of its citizens. Things have obviously moved on since 1994, and gone is the point-and-click of old. We now have a third-person adventure game, but thankfully that's pretty much all that's changed. This time, a child from the village Robert was staying in is kidnapped, and Robert vows to bring him back. Eventually, he finds his way back to Union City, which is where you are left to take over. Reuniting with comic book artist Dave Gibbons, Revolution have kept the same unique style that the first game had. Again, the plot is delivered via a comic. The original, shipped with an actual paper comic you could read. Now this is told digitally, but exactly the same style. The game also keeps its humour, and all the characters have their own wit and way to see the world. Even robots, which you'd expect to be straight up and humorless, have sarcasm, humour, and even seem to be annoyed with Robert as he questions them on all manner of topics.
To commence your Union City registration, please make your way to the immigration terminal.
That's okay, I'm not here to register. I'm looking for...
If you're looking for the immigration terminal, it's right over there. Thank you.
The game is typical for what it is, a modern point-and-click adventure, and with this comes a ton of dialogue, sometimes crazy solutions to puzzles, and an array of items to pick up and use. For the most part, I found the puzzles pretty straightforward, though some do require a little out-of-the-box thinking. Not long in, you're introduced to a mini-game that is key to progression: hacking. You acquire a device that lets you hack various items in the game, and by changing how they work, you can, for example, gain access to areas you don't necessarily have the right to access, or change how robots in the game behave. It's all a nice change from the usual puzzle adventure structure, and always seeing what happens when you change the behaviour of things. Visually, the game looks very nice. The years have been kind to Robert, and he's never looked better. The cel shading on everything gives just enough of a hint that it could be out of a comic. Animations are crisp, and the game gives a real feel that the world is inhabited by a variety of people and droids. I did experience some frame rate drops in the game, but nothing too serious. Voice acting is also top notch. The actors have really given life to the droids in particular, and the emotions behind the voices make them almost human-like, and still annoying as some of them.
Wait, I know that U-chip. Oh my, is it really? Yes, it is. Master Graham, you have returned. How wonderful.
Oh, good day, huh?
I shall inform Madam and her guest that you have arrived. She will be so pleased.
No, that won't be necessary.
She will be overjoyed that you have finally returned to the bosom of the family.
There are, however, some issues. The camera positioning could do with some work. Initiating a dialogue with someone when you are too close or in the wrong area, the camera tends to be in the wrong place, so you either see them way too close, or not at all because the camera is behind a post or some other object, or an NPC walks into view and then just sits there for forever. NPCs do also have a fair wander distance, so can often disappear just as you want to talk to them, so hunting the NPC can sometimes be in order. Dialogue options are also a mixed bag. There are indicators when talking to an NPC that more dialogue is available as an option. However, this doesn't always happen, or happens when it shouldn't, so you often find yourself repeating the same dialogue, trying to work out which one will actually advance the story. It would also have been nice to have keyboard shortcuts for the dialogue options, something that PC games have included and which I missed. This is probably down to it first being released on Apple Arcade, but that's just an excuse. After all that's been said, the game is exactly what fans of the original will want. There is plenty here to satisfy, the story is as good as the original, and the humour is spot on. New players will feel right at home too. Overall, Beyond the Steel Sky comes highly recommended.